good raw sesh, dude. I
Yeah.
feel like I don't know. Like I went through an experience here.
I'm feeling raw and swollen.
I'm definitely sweaty.
I'm sweaty too, man.
Yeah, and I think it's important to retain that that feeling, right? Of like you have a chance. And I mean, like this goes right into leagues again. I really think leagues solves all of this.
Yeah. It'll be good, man.
Because you're experience like you're having contained experiences on a stream. And then it's more about that stream for that week.
Yeah, and it's like a mega crank for a week, and then maybe you take a break for a month and come back and do a league or whatever, or you crank every league after league. And I think more people will get involved. More people will start taking breaks and enjoying the game more. Because, you know, you talk to some people grinding, and it's a struggle, man. I know it's a struggle. I've been there.
Oh, it is. Absolutely.
2 months of pure marbles.
Pure crankage. And I see so many people fade mid-season or fade 3 weeks in.
But then they're stuck.
It's because it's tough.
Yeah. But then they feel stuck because they've come so far, and it's like, well,
right.
I'm halfway through. I can't just give up now. But I also know plenty of people who do give, they're just like, this isn't worth it. This isn't worth it to me. I've gone 3 weeks. The competitive edge of being in all these streams plus tilted streams, like it's just too much for me, and I'm not going to do it anymore. Which is fine. I think that's a very healthy thing to acknowledge and to do. But I also understand the other side of like wanting to win and being halfway through and being like, I can't stop now. I've been there.
I honestly think reducing the total energy would be a big solution short term. I think if we did that for let's say we went to 1 month seasons, we do that for like those 2 seasons, 1 or 2 seasons. And this way, like people play in 2 channels at a time, basically.
Well, and then what do you think would happen with tilting? Do you think a lot more people would start tilting and stuff? Because if you can only be in 2 racing streams, let's bump up the number of tilted streams so we can get more points.
Well, tilted goes to arcade mode.
Okay, so all right. See, that'd be so. Oh man, it would be so interesting to see. That's a big step.
Yeah, it'd be like a roll of the dice for the in between to moving to leagues. Just try some wacky stuff and see how it goes.
Well, and then maybe you could even have like tilted leagues too. Like leagues could be anything really, but put races in arcade mode. Yeah, I mean that's another idea too. But races is the main point of the game, and always was.
Yeah, you don't want me my response. I'll hurt your feelings.
But what is the argument behind and I'm asking tilters this, like, not to attack or anything, but like what is the argument behind not having points at all on tilted mode? Just because you might not get more tilters in there or something? Or you might not get more balls? Because I always assume when I do like boost mode, I'm not going to get any racers at all, but there's still grinders joining in and people joining in and people boosting and having fun. And
like, what if we just turn the points off for a whole month?
Yeah, and we've talked about that for seasons, right. Man. Like, we see the impact off season when there's no points. People are still playing.
Right. But will it sustain across 30 days?
Right. I'm sure you'd see a drop off, but then there might be a shift as well. It's like starting content over on your stream. It's like, oh, this isn't working out. Let's completely erase it and start it over. Like, and you just have to build it up again. I think it would build, but people love competition, man. Or maybe people would develop their own sort of seasons and competitions like people already do now.
Right.
Like, oh, like even though there's marble seasons going on, like I'm doing monthly seasons of my own leaderboard or something.
Dude, we got to dive into this. There's so many people chiming in on this. On season tilt 40 marbs, off season tilt 6 marbs. My initial opinion, you're not creating content, you're just farming. You're just there for people who want to farm. I mean, how many of you guys have cameras, are pumping out great content, posting on social, sharing what you're doing, sharing your new achievements, going through, making a highlight reel of all your top moments in tilting, posting that on YouTube, sharing that on Instagram, a hot fuck, man. Holy shit. Yeah. Like, get into it, guys. I'm watching creators waste their effing time on this stuff. You're not creating.
I do it too. I waste my freaking time. I need to do more.
Like, get motivated, wake up in the morning, grab your highlight reel from the day before, rip that down, put it into, what do you call it? Freaking Adobe Premiere Pro, cut it up, throw it on YouTube. Get the people growing around you and stop counting on the game to grow the people. I'll do my job. We'll continue growing this game, period. But if you don't do that, you will continue being a farm and you'll have all those issues you just mentioned.
Yeah, every 5 levels you get to a new difficulty. Why not tweet it out?
And the reason I'm so passionate about this right now is because I'm watching people do this on BitClout. I'm watching people get into this system and complain and complain and complain in posts instead of creating content. They're watching other people's coins go up in value, and it's hilarious because they're sinking and they're just complaining instead of generating content. They think that just posting is enough. You need to create content, everyone. This is what content creation is. Learn from the ones at the top. What is XQC doing? What is Ludwig doing? Even watch Spoo. What is Spoo doing? People who are above 20 to 40 viewers are doing something to grow. And if you're not engaging those people and sending them to your Discord, to your socials, getting them involved, create a sub competition on your channel, like, there's so many things we can do. And like I said, the game's going to continue building. We're going to continue building forward. That's what we've done for 4 years now. So believe in us. And now believe in yourself, because that's the first step to success. And if you point at the game and say, I don't have viewers because X, Y, and Z, you are putting the blame on the game, and therefore you will not grow as a creator. Period. End of line.
You can hear the rawness and the passion, like he's been dealing with this for years. But it's so true. You see it everywhere,
And like, I'll flip this on myself even. I should take what I just said off Spoo's stream, rip it down, and throw it on my YouTube. Because this is huge. And I think this is massive. Like, while you sit there complaining, there's somebody else grinding their face off to get the attention around their community.
Yeah.
Like, every post you do that is not leading towards your growth, you are now going into the other direction, downwards. And then you continue sinking, and you continue looking inwards and hating it, and hating the thing you're doing, and hate. And what does hate breed? More hate.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to my TED Talk.
Hell yeah.
I believe in everybody in this community, but you need to look inwards and generate the damn content and stop complaining. If you don't want to be a content creator, then accept it and step back, because there's people willing to take your place in 10 seconds flat.
It's true. If you're not pushing, there's somebody else pushing.
Oh,
Good. That's good.
that was great Monday, man. Oh.
You needed to get that out. I like it. But
And
it's
honestly,
so true, man.
most of it, yeah,
It's
most of it
motivating
isn't
for
from-
me as well. Like, hearing that shit.
Yeah.
Like, even though I'm doing a little bit, I know I'm not doing enough.
We're all not, because there's more we can do.
Yeah. And content
If there's
isn't
time in
easy.
your day. Yeah,
But you're-
it's challenging.
Yeah. But take what you're already doing and what you're good at. Like me, it's like, why haven't I done more music stuff? And I have ideas for music stuff now that I want to do in terms of content. But then it's like, it's really just buckling down and doing it at this point. But it's like, why have I never done more with that when that's kind of like something I love to do? That's content. Or even just the Spooble stuff. Like, I created the Spooble stuff years ago Never made any sort of short video or anything about it. Like, why? Why am I so stupid? I just need to jump on that stuff and do it. But I'm also not sitting around complaining about not getting things because I'm aware that it's my own fault.
Right. And I can equate this to early on in the days when we didn't have a category. I spent so much time going to that forum that was supposed to give us a category and bitching in the forum and complaining about that, instead of what I should have just focused on for that week that I was complaining about it, is just build the damn game to a point that they want us on there.
Yeah. And that goes to anything with the studio. Like, if people are upset that they're not getting represented by Marbles or whatever, like, don't sit around and complain. Bust your ass and get there. Prove to Pixel, prove to the team that you're worth working with. And that's not even something, I bring this up sometimes. I never thought about that. I was just trying to grow my stream. And I saw Marbles as a huge opportunity to do that. So I went ham when I ran into Marbles, like crazy, dude. And Pixel saw that and was inspired by it. And then boom, whatever, we're here now. But yeah, man.
I feel like, I don't know. Like, you know, what's the changing moment? What is going to take people to wake up? Is it Twitch, you know, sees a downfall in trending, and then now your channels are not seeing even, you know, 5, you're seeing 3, and then you go, oh my God, and panic because you haven't experienced the other platforms. You haven't built. So the second Twitch takes a downswing, if that ever happens, your channels will be directly impacted, everybody's channels who's only on one platform. And then you're not going to have a voice to talk to the 3 people that you had. And then what? Like, build, guys. It's so important. It's so important.
And it's something I've noticed over the past year or two or whatever. Like, if you look at people that have a lot of viewers on Twitch, it's not because they're streaming on Twitch. It's because they have content all over the place that people can see, and then they see, oh, they go live as well, and then they hop into the live, oh, they're live right now, and they're shouting it out on Twitter and stuff, and they have like YouTube videos going out every day and Instagram posts and stuff.
Yeah. And if you can't do it yourself, connect with somebody who can and ask questions. Most creators are very helpful. I very rarely run into somebody who's like, nope, I got my way and I'm not telling you ever.
Yeah.
Like, most people want to share their process because they busted their butt to get to where they're at. And they want to tell people. And they're like, yo, I did this. This is how I did it. And you could learn from each other so much. And I do see it in the community. That's another thing. Is like, there's a lot of good going on in the community, a lot more good than bad. And that's why it's frustrating to see a group of people look at something and point at it and say it's broken, it's done. Like, we're not going to be able to grow from this. And it's like Tilted, back to Tilted, right? Like the competition that it drives, the speed tilting, you know, MLT that's growing every Thursday. Like, these things, these are the real things to get involved in. And I'm surprised more people aren't gravitating towards the events, because the events are the gold mine. Right? It may not look that way now, but believe in these hosts. I believe in them. That's why they have our sponsorship. Is like, I believe in these hosts because they're pushing towards a bigger goal. They're not trying to get like some quick viewership now and be done. They're trying to build something that's going to sustain long term. I'm down to work somebody who's thinking long term, because we're thinking long term.
Right.
We're 4 years in and still thinking 10 years out.
It's great to see so many people passionate about like the Tilted and the speed tilted and stuff. Like, that just means there should be more happening and more growth happening eventually over time, because people are so passionate about it. Like, it's like the conversations going on in the speed tilting Discord. Like, you can tell people are passionate about it. I'm passionate about it too. Well, anything Marbles, I'm like, yeah, let's talk about it. I feel like I get annoying sometimes because I'm just like, I could talk about the community, I can talk about Marbles, and that's why Raw is so good, because I can get in here and talk about it.
Just go, right?
Yeah. Or just talking to you in general, or other people in the community, or like, that's my life, man. Twitch and Marbles is my life.
Yep. Twitch, Marbles, and social. This is me. Like, I'm just consuming social like a monster. that's a big question I ask myself when I'm consuming content, whether it be written, pictures, video, it doesn't matter. It's, do I want more of this? I ask myself that. Do I want more of this? Hell yeah, let's go. You know, how do I support this to make it grow? But I also know the impacts of growing something by putting all the force of something into it. So, like, for example, let's say I like something and then I just give unlimited prizes to that stream. And it's like, here's just giveaways to do every single day, grow the stream. It doesn't matter. Then you're just creating a stream about the giveaway. And that's another thing I'm careful on. And if you want to learn, I had a great discussion with Jarumba about this when we were onboarding his event. So if you want to learn, I think he could probably teach you a bunch of like the whys and the whats of how I kind of got involved with that.
And anyone that reaches out to me about certain stuff, I'm always like, this is what Pixel tends to look for, blah, blah, and then blah, 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 you know? And that's why it's so important to communicate, man. Like, I'll tell you straight up what's going on. There's people in the chat that have reached out to me about stuff, and I'm just, boom. Here's the info you need. What are you going to do with it? How are hosts selected for Marble Fest?
Yeah.
I was going to bring that one up too.
Hell
well,
yeah.
What do you say, man?
Look, in the end, this is what it comes down to. Merit and character, period. So what you've done in the community, who you are, what you stand for, right? I think that's so important.
Mm-hmm.
And then your character. You know, like the message you're portraying. Because you're going to get max attention on your stream, right?
Yeah, you're representing like the biggest event of marbles.
Yeah.
And you're representing the game.
So we want the people who are giving, who has given their all and stand for good things and have positive messages going outwards. Period. And the more people that get involved with Marble Fest that also create content, the stronger that event becomes. And I mean, Spoo, we've put a mixture of content creators into these events, from small to large.
Yeah, and it's like, we might not make the best choices, but we're also testing things too, and testing streamers and content creators. Like, can you handle this? Let's find out. And then, you know, and we try to talk to people about it too. Well, I do anyway. Like, really put it in their face. Like, look. Are you gonna put like 100% into this? Like, we want 100% as much as possible. Like, do you believe in this event and the game and the community? Like, you're representing all of this.
I'm gonna provide an example. So sometimes I reach out to people, sometimes Spoo reaches out to people, and we don't get replies. And I know this is very simple and probably like a minor issue, but I take it pretty large. Is like, if you take a while to get back to one of us, that's an immediate red flag to me that you're not an active creator in your ecosystem. And I know that's harsh, but it's true. Because if you're not paying attention to your DMs and you're not able to communicate back and forth through the platforms you're supposed to be relevant on, that means you're not paying attention in a relevant way. And it's not relevant to you. And that means your full mind and effort is not into it. And I know once again, it's rough.
Passion.
It's facts, right? If you're passionate about something, like I reply to DMs super fast, and probably way too fast sometimes. But I love to reply because if somebody reaches out to me, they've taken the time to write something. And I want to try to get back to them as fast as I can. Even if it's just like, hey, I'll get this later. Or, yeah, I'll give you a quick reply now. We could dive into this later. Whatever it is, I try to reply. And usually if it's not replied to, it's either missed or it's just something that's, you know, quote unquote, a waste of time. Oh, everybody answers their DMs in their own ways, but like if something important comes through, right? Like let's say a sponsor comes through and DMs you on Twitch and you don't reply for 3 days. What are they going to take that as? And man, maybe you're like, oh, I don't care about sponsors. Okay. Well, what if another creator that you look up to reached out to you and said, hey, I want to do this thing with you. I see you're doing something really cool. And it takes you 3 days to get back to them. Then it's like, missed that opportunity. And more opportunities will come, but it's how you deal with them. in the long run. But yeah, Marble Fest, it's simple decisions. Nothing else is taken into account. As a studio, I'll make the statement now. I do not look to hit social points. I don't look for race. I don't look for gender. That stuff is irrelevant to me. It's your merit and your character, period. I don't look to hit notes. And I've said this to Spoo many times. I'm like, I'm not going to play that game. And if you think I'm doing something wrong with that, I'm sorry. But that's just the way that I am. And I won't lean into any other way of doing things.
Same way from my past when I, was a manager. That's just how I did it. If you're good, if you seem good at what you do, I'm gonna hire you regardless. All depends on who you are. Your character.
Yep. And it's the same way for like the studio hiring process and the people that get involved. It doesn't matter any of that stuff. It's what you do. It's what you can do. Period.
Yeah.
But it's all good questions, and I'm happy answering them all.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Same. And even though we might be getting passionate, well, it's because we are passionate.
Absolutely.
And we know that people, have issues with certain things and certain decisions we make. And that's why we like to have these talks. So if people really want to get an answer, here it is. I just really like to hear from the primary source itself. Like when I hear third parties, I immediately get irked when like, not at the person coming to me, but at the people not coming to me that are like bitching to other people instead of like just coming to the main source. Like, you want the answer? Come to the main source. Why are we doing a whisper down the lane type of bullshit?
Right. I mean, I also think reaching out on behalf of a third party is not the right way of doing things either, because it doesn't give it merit. It doesn't give it anything to stand on. Like, the person needs to speak, and they need to tell the truth of what happened, right? Whatever is occurring, you need to come forward and be like, this is what happened, and I would like it addressed, and I would like an answer to this, because we're happy to answer. I mean, you should do that in life in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
If there's something that happened, you need to go to where
nip
you're
it in the butt.
The right answer. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna say this. I try to mention it all the time, and it's not like I'm putting it out there on socials or in Pixel's Discord or anything. I normally just talk about it on stream, but like, reach out. If going back to like Marble Fest stuff or working with marbles in general, reach out. Ask us, hey, can I be considered? And I'm going to tell you straight up, I'm going to look at your Twitch tracker stats. I'm going to tell you what Pixel's looking for. I'm going to tell you what I think. I'm going to tell you things you could work on, or maybe you're a viewer and you're like, hey, I really like this person. I think they could be a great host. Let me know about them, and then I'll do the same thing. And then I have a list of people who have reached out to me. I have a list of people that I think could be good for the event. And then, this doesn't really happen, but there's a third list of viewers or racers that reach out and say, hey, I think this person could be good for Marble Fest. Could you consider them? And ultimately, it's up to Pixel, but there are times I think I could sway him a little bit. If Pixel believes in me, so if I believe in somebody, then I could probably convince him to be a part of something, but ultimately it's his decision. And then it falls onto me, so that's scary for me too. Like, what if I'm convincing Pixel to use somebody for something in terms of an event, and then you blow it? What's that shed light on me? That's on me, man. So, and I let people know that too. Like, hey, I might be able to help you out, but like, just know if you fuck up, like, I'm gonna be pissed. And that's the manager in me too. Like, I'm hiring you to do something. Don't fuck up, please.
But yeah, like everybody's doing their thing, right? And we just love seeing you do your thing.
Yeah.
And so the more you're just focusing on you and your little ecosystem and whatever, little, big, it doesn't matter. Building your ecosystem, we notice these things. Like, I may not grind and have crazy amounts of races, but I'm always like literally always watching. It's sickening how much I'm around. But I'm passionate about this. That's why I'm around. It's just I know a lot of people would be like, "Yo, you're probably at the computer too much." Like we're talking 18-hour days, like
Yeah.
for 3 years.
Make sure you're stretching and doing your squats and
Yeah, bro. Like I'm standing right now, and I always try to stand for half the day and do my thing, right? And my health is my health, and I got to focus on that. But the community is the community, and I really want to support it. But there's entry points for when the studio should get involved, and it's not at the early stages when you're just figuring yourself out, and that could take time. And we notice these things of like you figuring yourself out, adjusting content, trying something new, like.
true. Change of character. We totally notice that.
Oh my god,
Like
yeah.
people who may have started down a negative path and you really start seeing them flip things around and bettering their lives and bettering themselves, and it's great to see. And we're all on that path. We're always like all of us are always trying to better ourselves. Nobody's perfect. And I guess when I was younger too, I went through long periods of negativity and rage and all that stuff, and that's why I still rage at video games pretty hard, and it can really ruin my day sometimes, but yeah, I've gotten so much better at handling that.
Right. I mean that's another thing is like it's a trait of the youth, right?
Yeah.
Like I know when I was young, I was super ignorant and just didn't care about anything, and it was just like I didn't realize the larger picture. And as you grow up, you just start seeing more of the picture, and you understand some of the places where people are coming from. So if you're young, keep building, keep growing, because you got so much space to grow. And you'll change so many times over the years. You'll learn something new and be like, oh my God, I was thinking about that all wrong. Well, just listening and consuming, right? And then forming your own opinions around what's said. I think that's the most important thing as well, right? Is like, listening, but then forming your own opinion on it. Don't just be like, oh yeah. There's so many powerhouses in this community. And I think that some people don't even realize it, that they are a powerhouse or can be a powerhouse with just a couple short moves, strategic moves. Like content in the marbles community, here we are 3 years in, and it's still dry. Like there's not much being portrayed, and like our YouTube videos are getting like sweet attention because nobody else is doing it.
Right.
Like there's out of date tutorials getting hits like 3k views a month, and it's nothing insane.
Right. That's still a lot, man.
That's old. Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying is like there's people who want this content.
Yeah.
And we're pushing in that direction, but we can only do so much at a time. Imagine if we had somebody teaching Tilted on YouTube, then we had somebody doing races and explaining that whole system, that ecosystem, how it evolved and where it came from, and all these things. It's all content, and anybody who's been paying attention over the years has it all in their brain. Has it all in their brain and can build a video for it or build 20 videos for it. Like who knows? Yeah. Maybe make a Udemy course and charge money for people learning to get into marbles. Like I have no idea what the
possibilities are endless.
Yeah, exactly, right? And who knows? Like if other social platforms become a thing, and like I said, the one that I'm testing is BitCloud, and it's like it's a whole new ecosystem. It's tiny. It doesn't even have much attention yet, but people are learning it and figuring it out. And there's ways to wrap into it with like bots and stuff like that you can do some really cool stuff and reward your community if you can build the systems and interact. And if you can create content, you'll succeed on these starting platforms. Look at the people who got into TikTok early, right? Like TikTok's still a new ecosystem, yet it's exploding, right? And the creators who jumped into it first and just said, I'm going to do this are crushing it, right? Like the viewership that they're getting. And now you're seeing like people like Charlie and stuff go to YouTube and building other channels and getting on Twitter. So like you start in one spot, then you branch out and start learning that growing your community is stronger than just being on one platform and having the most subscribers or views or whatever, right? That's short-term thinking. The long-term thinking is establishing and growing roots.
I feel like my stream is just beginning, kind of. I'm feeling that. I
totally agree with you, dude. I totally agree.
And
watching you evolve has been, dude, I hope you can write something one day that talks about how you got to where you are and like the hardships that you went through, and like it's such a good story, and because I got to watch it all and I got to understand, like, you know, the difficulties that a human can go through along the way, but still push through and ensure they're trying to still build what they are. Right. And you've gone through ebbs and flows along with the studio and stuck with it and pushed through. And that's another thing is we're coming into a downslope guaranteed of marbles throughout the summer. It matters on how much COVID, the lockdowns get released. Based on that scale, we're going to see a dwindle on Twitch, in my opinion. Like, and then people will come back after they've gone out and experienced the world for the first time in a year.
Yeah, it's going to be the time to experiment and create other content and spread your webs and your roots elsewhere, you know, while also maintaining live streams and that or whatever. But
well, the downtime is the time to learn. It's the time to build and grow roots, because once people start coming back, you'll be like, yo guys, you guys were gone all summer. Well, guess what we got going on? I got this. And they'll be like, whoa, you've been busy.
Yeah,
like,
go check out my new like YouTube videos and stuff. And
yeah. And make sure you don't get into a rut. And I see some people get into a rut as well, is like they're constantly posting, getting very little engagement, and they're not evolving their content and trying to change it and try new things. It's like, don't let yourself get into a rut and just poke around. If you see like, you know, something's not working right, maybe you're editing wrong, or maybe you need to try a new style of like.
Yeah, when you hit those plateaus, it's like find something that you want to make better personally or whatever, and just focus on that one thing and then see if it does anything. And then if you start plateauing again, you just keep evolving it. I mean, that's where Money Marbles and you know, the Spooble, all that stuff has been a constant evolution. And it's always in my head, like, why aren't I putting more content from this stuff out there? And these conversations help. It's just like, I just need to jump on it, or I need to get somebody to help me jump on it or whatever.
It's just finding your groove. And that's the hard part, right?
Yeah.
Is like, if it's not going to be you generating the content, you need to find somebody you can work with and somebody who shares your vision. And that can take years to find somebody that's like, oh, boom, this is the creator that I work perfectly with and who can achieve what I'm trying to achieve in a video form or whatever, right? Like, one day I'd love to meet like a really good writer and then see what we could achieve within the Marble ecosystem with a writer. Because I've never even worked with a writer, honestly. Like somebody who has a lot of experience writing and creating stories.
Yeah.
And like, what does that bring to Marbles? And these are all like things that loom in the back of my head, is like, okay, one day we could try this. One day we could try this and just keep designing these things out. Let the ideas fester for a while and put them on paper and then expand on them. Think on it. Like sometimes I write down an idea and I'll come back to it in the morning and be like, where did this come from? Like, this makes zero sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is not going to work.
I actually wrote something down last night or yesterday, and I went back and I was like, I need to be more specific with this, because if I come back to what I wrote down here, I'm going to have no idea what the heck it is. So I like basically wrote out my entire thoughts specifically. So when I go back to it, I know what the heck it is, because I've done that too many times. I jot something down, then I go back to it. And I'm like, what the heck is this? Marble flying ding dong mother or something? Like, I don't know.
But sometimes I think that's good. Like sometimes I like leaving things that are unexplained like that in the notes. Because if you can't see it again from some notes, then maybe it wasn't a good idea. It didn't stick. You know?
True.
That's like sometimes like the way I play with ideas is like, if I have an idea at night sometimes and it's like something that like I'm okay losing, I'll leave it in my brain and not write it down and see if I remember it in the morning. Because if I remember it, then I know it's stronger. It's a stronger idea. But once again, ideas only get you so far. You have to start deploying on them.
I mean, example of this, literally yesterday or the day before, I was just like, okay, I'm starting Marble Fest. I want to send this off like incredibly. So I started talking to the people in my circle about things I want to do. Like I contacted 3 different people about things I want to do to start off Marble Fest. And like, I sat there and I brainstormed for like 5-10 minutes and I was like, and some ideas came up, and I just started talking to people about it, and then we brainstormed together, and we figured some stuff out of what we could do or whatever, and then it made me get an idea to tell somebody else that that could help me with it or whatever, and yeah, I just started deploying on the idea that I had and getting people involved in it, and now the wheels are turning for what I want to do to kick off Marblefest. So it's exciting, and it takes work, and that's what content is. It just takes work. Now it's like, what am I going to do with that other than do it live? I don't know. Maybe it would be cool to make some sort of short video or, show the content, or even take. Now I'm brainstorming again. I take that little thing that I'm trying to do with my first hour, and I immediately afterwards take that stream, take the VOD, cut it up, make a video, put it out there everywhere while Marblefest is still going on, so that people see it and they're like, oh, what's this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like why I tell, or, and you kind of got me into this. It's like what I mentioned before. Like, if you're a tilter and you're just tilting, every time you get through 5 levels, you're at a new difficulty, maybe tweet it out and whatever, or I don't know what it could be. Want to learn about this next difficulty in Tilted? Well, I just got to level 10. And if you want to come and check it out and see how I do it, come in now, because the next 5 levels are going to be 10 to 14 or whatever,
Right.
Or I just got my personal best and I'm about to do the next level. Do you think I can do it? Boo, and then put a little clip or something. I don't know.
Yeah, man. It's all solid ideas to just grab and try and then see where it goes from there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even us with we got a bunch of followers on Twitter, and we don't get a lot of engagement on Twitter.
Right.
On our posts as well. But we get some. And it's just about continuing to try and just keeping okay, well, does this work? Okay, well, this does better than this. Okay, let's do a little bit more of this. And as the Marble community continues to evolve, it's just there's new people getting involved, new people getting into it, and need to learn something that you may perceive as so simple, yet they don't know it yet. So there's always something to share there as well.
And I think that's a lot of the reason why people don't share stuff too. They either think it's stupid, or it's, everybody knows this. They convince themselves not to just post something randomly.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting is, I learned this recently, is I've been holding myself back on social media because I'm under the Pixel name.
Mm.
And recently, by testing things out in a new platform, I've been acting under my own name because I didn't want to represent the company just for talking.
Mm.
And that's unleashed a new freedom for me. So maybe that's something that you could try too, is it's just anybody in chat or even you, Spoo, is try talk. Well, I mean, you already talk as you, Spoo, you're Spoo, but if you have a brand masking you, try talking as you and putting your opinions out there that you're not trying to
tiptoe around
filter in a corporate way or in a professional way, right? Because I think it's really important to get your true opinion out there every so often and have some people bounce off of it and at least let you understand that you're not a psychopath.
Yeah.
I know that sounds crazy, but sometimes, because I live a very contained life, in terms of socially, I don't communicate with a lot of people about my business stuff. It's all in my head, and I bounce ideas off the guys sometimes, but mainly it's just stuff in my head. And sometimes I'm man, I need to talk to somebody about this and just understand that I'm not a crazy person here. And that's just been a challenge that I've been faced with for a while now. That I'm learning that I just need to be speaking as myself on a social platform so that I can share my ideas and get people to bounce off them. Because if I don't have that, then I'm just in my own personal echo chamber. And it could be as simple as an idea of life, not even marbles, just what about this? Or passing some information to a content creator who's just getting started and being hey, I've done this in the past, or I've seen this done in the past, and sharing an idea and being getting the bounce off of it is so, I mean, it's really fulfilling, honestly, when somebody engages with your content where you're actually providing just a raw opinion that I've been, I guess, getting getting into.
Yeah, I mean, and these Mondays have been super helpful long term for me too. Just I've become more open, definitely, and streaming over time. It's all been. I could probably do more of it, but at the moment, I feel like I am pretty open a lot about my opinions and things, and it is refreshing, honestly. I could probably be more, but yeah, I mean, I've been getting more open and just talking about whatever, and I think it's been good and healthy.
Well, I guess look at the trending of like how you've been growing since you've become more open.
Right.
You've taken on the form of a creator more and more as time goes on, honestly.
Yeah.
Maybe that's part of the equation, man, is like literally just unleashing your ideas and understanding that you're not alone with those ideas. Guaranteed. No matter what your idea is, you're probably not alone. There's like a 99% chance you're not alone with it.
Right.
And understanding that is like, I guess, your first step to really being free to post. Is understanding there will be somebody who drops in the comment and be like, yo, I love this idea, or I love this thing that you said. And there will be haters, but you need to focus on the people who are going to grow around you.
Yeah, like I tiptoe around my tweets a lot of the time, you know? It's like when I was talking to you about my tweet today and what I should, like, I think about it too much probably. It's like, why don't I just throw my opinion out there and just drop it?
Right.
The response is scary. And that goes back to communication. People are scared of responses a lot of the time, but it'll, you know, controversy draws crowds.
Yeah, it's true.
Because people are very opinionated, and if you say something that goes against their opinion, they're going to chime in, or if it goes with their opinion, they're going to chime in. But you know, everyone's afraid of the backlash, I guess. But you can post and ignore. You could totally just post your opinion out there and never look at it again, and if it's super controversial, just let the comments go, and everybody. It's kind of like Raw. I bet, you know, people talk in chat, right? And we don't fully pay attention to everything, but they're going back and forth about the things we're saying or whatever, or, you know, other ideas. So it's like, it's the same kind of concept. Not that you shouldn't like go through and maybe look at the comments, and because you never know what you're going to learn too from that stuff. But
it does take a lot to process comments.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be a mixture. Once again, there's a high chance that you're going to find somebody who agrees with you, but there's also a high chance you're going to find somebody who disagrees with you. And just understanding that, you know, people have disagreements, and just because somebody disagrees with you, it doesn't mean that it's the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a disagreement, and somebody's like, yeah, no, I don't agree with that. But it's when it gets taken to crazy levels where, you know, people are trying to get canceled and stuff like that because of, you know, something they tweeted or whatever, like in the past.
Right.
I believe that has a huge impact on today's like social culture, because there's a lot of fear when posting, for sure.
Yeah, nobody wants to get canceled or whatever.
Right. And that's the thing of like, most people are good people. I truly believe that.
Yeah.
Most people out there are good people. And we just need to stop micro-assessing everybody else. Right? Being like, oh, you did this little thing when you were 20 and, you know, it was really stupid and ignorant. And it's like, yeah, why don't you look inwards and tell me you didn't do anything stupid when you were 20 or when you're 18 or whatever, right? Like, I feel like we've all done dumbass stuff when we were young, and to different scales.
Yep.
And I think it's really important to like assess somebody in the now. How are they acting now? You know? Are they portraying a positive image?
Did they take the stupid things that they did and learn from it, or did they just continue? Do they just continue doing stupid things? It's both for me. You know, I've definitely learned from a lot of the things I've done in the past, but I also continue to do some dumb things that I know I'm like, it's pretty dumb. But maybe when I'm like 80. I'll be at the point where I'm like, all right, I'm not doing dumb stuff anymore.
You're like, yes.
I guess it's the impact of the dumb stuff. Because some dumb stuff isn't as impactful as other things, and you can kind of get away with it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Life, man.
Life.
And raw life.
Got one easy thought. Don't kick viewers joining your stream. Set a limit instead. If you don't want to get kicked, don't join the stream. Teach that streamer a lesson. I mean, they're only hurting themselves, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. Exclusion isn't a positive thing.
I saw something else in chat that I really just want to mention. As a marbles community, you guys represent the community. Like, especially if you're using like skins, like people know that you're into the game. Maybe you have a number over your head or a gem run or whatever it may be that is noticed. Like, remember you're representing the community, and it makes me sick to see people being pieces of shit in other streams. If you don't like it, just leave. Period.
Yeah, the opinion shoving during a stream is very interesting. It's an interesting place to stand.
Makes me sick, dude. I hate it.
Like, I don't get it. Like, what are you trying to achieve? You know, but like, Twitch is spammy. Twitch is spam chat, right? So everybody's just like,
I won't get noticed.
Reacting off what's being said or being done, right?
Yeah.
But Marbles doesn't want that. Like, not us. Obviously, we don't want that, but like, in general, I think most streamers who play Marbles don't want that stuff. Right? They got to focus on their stream.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes to the strength of a streamer as well. And that's the thing we watch out for too, right? Is how you handle your chat and the stuff that's going on in your stream. If you don't have control over your ecosystem, then why do we want to unleash a larger ecosystem on you when you're having struggles with your own?
Yeah.
Right? Whether it be opinions through chat or drama in your community or, you know, whatever's going on, this is all a reflection of you as a content creator building your channel and your brand. And if you're going to tell us, okay, well, I'm not building a channel, I'm not building a brand, and this isn't a business for me. Okay, then you shouldn't be aspiring to like be into a top event that's designed for creators. If you don't perceive yourself as a creator and somebody in this space who's here to grow a business and grow a channel to something huge, then I ask you, why are you here? What is the reason?
Maybe not huge, but at least big enough where you're sustaining, I would say. I mean, some people want to get to a comfortable spot. Some people want to go to the moon, you know, that type of thing. But, I mean, yeah, I like seeing people shooting for the moon.
Everybody who's taking this seriously wants growth regularly over time. What the end point is, who knows?
Yeah.
But I think once you start growing, any creator really wants to keep going. They want to keep growing.
Yeah.
Unless you learn that other things are taking priority. And I can give you an example of that is my stream. I learned that the company and the game needed more attention from me than my stream. And it sucks because, you know, streaming's fun and like you can have a lot of fun and share what's going on in the community and look what we're doing with the game. But it also meant that I was taking less time dealing with contracts and new people who can get involved and help us grow the business and you know, helping Spoo do his things and ensuring that the support is given to our guys. And that's one thing I've learned is like I need to step back a little bit from streaming and be online all the time and focus on the business and the community and the games that we're making. So sometimes you may not necessarily want to be a content creator. You may just want to maybe you want to support another creator and then stream on the side, and that's your hobby. Like, there's so many ways you can do this, right? There's so many ways you can get involved in the streaming ecosystem, and maybe content creation isn't your thing.
Right.
But these are all things we look at and pay attention to, because if you're not taking it seriously, how can you expect anyone to take you seriously? Whether it be your community or us or another game you want to work with. Who knows?
That's why it's important to reach out and communicate, because if you're passionate, you want something, that's what it takes. Ask the questions, talk to the right people, surround yourself with the right people. Huge one. This thought went through my brain earlier. Like, I've X'd people out of my life because they were just not healthy for me. And it took me a long time to realize this. Like, I grew up with a bad crowd, and I was not a great kid, you know, super young, and just, I don't like, I started getting better when I was in high school and college or whatever, and still not great, but like, I was just always hanging out with the wrong crowds, man. It took me a while to realize that, and I think that's why I'm so passionate about people doing that nowadays, because like, that affects you so much, the people you hang out with.
It does. 100%. I can't disagree with that. If you're listening, if you're sitting in a room with everybody complaining, you'll start complaining too, because that's the people you're hanging out with. And it may not be day one, it may not be day 5, but eventually, if you keep hanging out with that person or these people, it's going to continue filling your brain, and that's what you believe, and that's what you are.
Mm-hmm.
And if you surround yourself with people who are creating and dominating around you, you're gonna be like, oh man, I want to dominate too. And then you start crushing it because they're crushing it, and there's less chatter going on.
Oh yeah, and like if you make YouTube videos about tilting or whatever, and you've got this crowd here, like, hey, go check out my YouTube, go check out my marbles stuff that I do, all my tilted videos. If you guys are, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, that's an example of just taking advantage of these little bursts of exposure you might get throughout your streaming career, right?
For sure.
Like, when somebody raids you and you're just like, hey, I'm streaming. That's different than being like, yo, guys, check this scene out that I did. And then you can check out my other content on YouTube and follow me or whatever. And then people can be like, yo, this person's like kicking ass, doing some stuff.
Yeah. Take advantage of the exposure you get whenever it comes.
Okay, so I think this is, I heard about this recently, is like streamers sharing a list of names that that are potentially bots.
Right.
I think there's a danger in this, and I'm seeing this in the other platform I'm dealing with as well, is the idea of bots / scammers. And that's more specific to the other platform, but bots, right? Like, just think about this. If you begin being the source for the names of bots, you are now known as the person who is spitting hate on everybody. That is your goal. That is what you'll be known as. You'll be the one who is the controlling labeler. And once you become the one who's the labeler, it's a very dangerous spot to be in as a content creator. You'll live on both ends of the spectrum. You'll have a lot of negativity, and then you'll have people who appreciate you because you maintain some sort of list of people who they should ban from their channels. Right now, the studio is the source, right? So they can point at us and say, oh, the studio banned me, and they can hate on me all they want. I don't care when people hate me. It's no big deal. But when content creators are receiving the hate, it's just a different level, man. And when you're the one creating the labels, it's a lot to take on. So just be aware of that. If you want to do that, do you? But I won't be involved in it, and I don't believe in it. We do our investigation for bots, and we have like all the evidence saved, so that if anybody ever comes at us, we have everything, and we can show people and be like, this is why. Like, not show people, but like if anything serious ever came of it, we could show people why the decisions were made, and we can stand by what we've done. But as a content creator, I just think it's a bad play, because you may not have the capacity to fight off a lot of people who you've now enraged because you're the source of this list that's being passed around the community.
Yeah, and how sure are you that people are bots? Like, I don't, It's
a very challenging game to play, and we do it, and we still make mistakes all the time.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just, we just make sure when we make a play that we at least believe in it, and we stand by it, and we can at least argue it. And then if the person comes back and says, no, but XYZ, then we're like, cool, okay. Sorry, but, this is why we made the decision.
Yeah, it's taken me time to understand as a streamer that plenty of people join races and just don't talk. Some people just want to join some races and watch the stream. And that's just super important to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is people playing in chat only. They don't have your stream up. So if you talk to them, they're not going to reply. And that's your choice of if you want to, not have that person in your channel. It's your channel. I just think it's dangerous once you start creating a list and passing it around. And just to answer Sportscast, no, I don't do that. If you see a name that's banned in the game, it'll be in your pop-up list when somebody's joining the game. It'll say it's banned there, and that's it. I don't pass around the list. I don't tell anybody who we've banned. We don't have a notification system to tell you if somebody's banned. I don't think that's right. Because once again, we make mistakes too. And for us to lean into a name just because we think it's bad, it's not good.
Yeah, my best advice for this, if you truly think someone's like in your chat botting, Like deal with it on your own terms and understand that there could be repercussions from it, you know, and just ban them and don't even talk about it, you know. And if that person is truly cares that they got banned, you know, they should reach out. I would assume that they would reach out, but if they don't care or if they are a bot, then they're not going to do that. And they're not going to try to fix the situation. But I also understand that people getting banned who aren't bots might get mad and just be like, well, screw this person. And that's part of the repercussion of what you're doing. But I think I used to do this all the time. You know, ask anybody who's come around my streams. I used to hunt bots like crazy in my stream, and I just stopped doing it because that's not what I wanted my content to be. So.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing. It starts becoming your content, right? Because that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so just passively, it starts creeping its way into your content. And you're like, oh, damn, didn't realize that. Normally, if you're botting, you're cheating. So you can watch them fall on the list.
Yeah.
And the community should destroy them. Beat them on the list. Not destroy them. Just like pass them. Work to pass them. Crush it. It's your opportunity. Yeah, I don't like bots. I don't like cheaters. I've never liked cheaters in games. I don't even mod my games because
I'm not big into mods.
That's how much I dislike it. Like, you're not playing the game anymore. You're playing somebody else's game, and if that person wants to make a game, they should go make a game.
I'm just not technologically smart enough to do it, really. But it's gotten me down that path too of just like I just want to enjoy the game for what the game is.
Yeah, and if there's good ideas, then you know the game developers will make it.
Yeah.
But I know there's lots of good that comes from botting, from modding. Well, I guess, you know, there's good stuff that comes from botting too, as we develop systems to fight them. But from modding, like there's, you know, idea generation and stuff. So, you know, it's not all evil, but I just don't like it. I don't like cheating. I don't like modding. I don't like botting. So I'm happy to stand by, you know, like some evidence that comes through, somebody's not paying attention. Okay, they've been playing for, you know, a couple days straight without any words in chat. Then we start asking questions. Okay, well, you know, is somebody really there if like literally they're playing for 3 days straight and it's not chatting? So then we'll make a decision against that. Like that's something I stand strong with. I'll be like, yeah, I'm happy banning that. Then they can reach out and be like, no, I was actually doing this or whatever, right? And we're like, okay. But if it doesn't make sense, then no. We don't unban. Normally, if you get banned, you're banned for the season. And then you could reach out next season to come back.
I mean, bottom line, and I say this sometimes, what are you doing botting marbles? What are you doing?
Yeah, what is the goal? Like, I really don't understand. But like, there's a couple instances I can kind of like understand. It's like, okay, there's a lot of giveaways that happen, like financial giveaways. So it'd be worth it to bot those channels and just get the highest chances of winning money.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's something like that.
Yeah.
But how often is that really happening?
Do you think it's more botting for those things than it is for like the leaderboard then?
There's definitely more botting for those things. You can see it in the channels that do money giveaways. There's an increased viewership, but yet there's an increased marble count, but the viewership's not really there to reflect it. You can see it. Anybody, like, just watch the data. Anybody who's giving away money in marbles, they often have a skewed number associated with them.
So here's something I've been doing for a little while when I'm streaming is I have been looking, you know, I glance at my viewership here and there or whatever, and I'm always trying to make sure that my viewership is higher than the number of marbles in the race. Like, that's my goal.
Right.
I want people there to be there.
I think most people do.
Right. Yeah.
But some people just see the opportunity to, you know, because botting is so easy on Twitch.
Yeah.
You can have a bot up in 10 minutes. And it's up to you to extrapolate how to like manage that bot. And I'm sure there's good bots in the community that are like, they race, they kind of have like this algorithm to put out random chats here and there. And they're probably perceived positively in the community. And maybe they sit by the computer and listen in for where people are actually talking to them. And then they'll chime in actually as a human. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if a bunch of people are doing that. But to me, that's not a fight worth fighting. Because what are they really winning out of this? And in fact, they're probably benefiting the community more than they're taking away from it. Because the people, if you're there, you're probably supporting somebody. You're probably chatting to somebody. It's just you want to win, so you have this super bot that's playing in other streams at the same time. Yeah, if we catch you botting, like, you're done. But people learn, Chide, is another thing. Like, I like to give people chances. If we didn't give people chances, we wouldn't be where we're at right now.
Yeah.
There'd
be no room for growth or change. Like, you can learn from your mistakes, but if you keep making mistakes, then the same mistakes, then it's like, get the hell out.
Like, I ask for chances from you guys all the time. You guys give us chance after chance, to work on stuff. So for us not to give chances back doesn't make sense. If you build a strong system for channel points, you're gonna have way more active viewership because they're gonna want the channel points, and you only get channel points if you're an active viewer and in not crazy amount of channels. Like, you have to be counting as a viewer to get channel points.
Right.
So if you really, really, really want to take control of this as a streamer, put so much value on your channel points.
Channel points are big, man.
Huge, dude.
That's why I've been really trying to do predictions more and everything too. Like, I love predictions, and I assume, like, I always take that into account when, like, on my stream. If I like something, maybe I should do it more on my stream.
Just overall, like, this ecosystem is evolving so quickly, and not just Twitch. I'm talking about the online ecosystem, right? The system we're all on a lot of our days, whether it be through device, phone, computer, it doesn't matter. A lot of people are starting to interact with this at scale, and it's going to be up to you to watch the ecosystem and evolve with it. One of those simple things is channel points and the introduction of it, and how Twitch is perceiving it. Like, you can really strengthen your position by paying attention to what Twitch says and just understanding where their head's at currently, and then starting to do those actions that layer with their goals. Because if you match their goals, you're going to have their support, whether it not be officially, but the algorithms they put in place will support your channels. That's the thing. It's like, you don't need to be like, hey, Twitch, I'm doing this and blah, blah, blah. Just do it, crush it. And then if they see these things, guaranteed you'll get the attention. Guaranteed. And I think that's so important, because if you're supporting the platform you're living on, you dominate it. If your goal is to extract, you're not dominating it. So, for example, like, let's say you onboard with a service that their goal is to extract all your viewers and all your community into a new ecosystem off-site. Be warned of those things. Ask why. Why are you driving my people away from my channel? I want to grow people on my channel. I don't want to send them away. And ask these things. And one of those things to look at is the grind for marbles. If you grow a grinding community, you're going to have a collection of people who are going around the community and being a part of many streams. And that's okay as long as you understand that, because those people are awesome to have. They're amazing, and they help grow the marbles community, and they help inform everybody of how things are done. Like, it's so powerful. But if you're going to look at, like, that kind of thing, you just got to assess it and just understand the positive effect of these actions. I love the social world, man. Like, it's really growing fast, guys. There's a lot to absorb, and, like, there's some really cool things being worked on that I wasn't even aware of last week.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, crypto is one of them. Crypto is interesting. There's a lot of cool stuff being done in it. Twitch is still pumping out. I don't know if you saw the announcement, but they've now put out that you can sub at your currency based on your country, so you're not being ripped off anymore based on, like, conversion rates.
Yeah, so, Nanonik mentioned that in the redeem here.
So if you break down these goals and understand, okay, yeah, Twitch is obviously looking to make more money, but they're also looking to tap into communities who've been shunned in the past, right, from other countries. And maybe not necessarily shunned is the right word, but, like, just ignored in terms of, like, maybe if they're getting overcharged on subscriptions, stuff like that. And as they fix these things, you're going to see mass adoption of Twitch, and it hasn't been mass adopted yet. I'm still meeting people that know nothing about Twitch, social, Twitter, like, all this stuff, and it blows my mind. But it also helps me understand that, holy crap, a lot of the world still doesn't know about this. And the longer you invest in yourself during all this time, during this growth, during when Twitch gets spikes, and you constantly build and build and build, whenever this massive boom happens, then you grow with it.
Right.
Because you're set up. But if you come in when the hype is here, I mean, Spoo, you could relate with this so much because it's stocks. It's the same idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you come in at the hype, you're paying premium price.
Yeah.
So whatever you need to do in a social world, if you come in at the hype, you're going to be paying premium price to get involved, whether that be having to create the max amount of content just to get noticed, or, create deals or whatever you need to do to get exposure. But in these early stages of growth, you get there's more chances of exposure.
Exactly. The hard part is finding that right time to step in, I guess, or just getting exposed to it in general. But that's also like, let's take me and marbles, right? I found marbles early, but it was only because I was hopping around constantly to absorb different content out there. And I ran into marbles. Like, and if you're not out there, like, doing the research, going back to, like, stocks and stuff, if you're not doing the research on early companies, or if you're not doing the research on new games coming out that could be good for your stream or something, like, you're going to miss out, and then the hype's going to happen. You're going to see the hype because it's getting more popular, and then you're going to try to get in then, but it's already too late. It's like with Fortnite, right? I started Fortnite early, too, and that did well for me. It didn't do amazing for me, but then it hyped up, and I completely fell off. And then Marbles came around, and that was super hype, and I've just like been riding the hype of Marbles because I absolutely loved it, and continue loving it. And I don't know. It's like the Fortnite thing died for me. I don't know. I can't explain the separation. I guess it's obviously different games, right? And I'm more of an engaging person, so Marbles like has been super good for me as a streamer, in terms of entertainment and just engaging audiences rather than being focused on
the game. Well, you've always succeeded in that. In any situation where it's about the people, you engage well.
Right.
Like when we go to TwitchCon, you're always engaging with the people. Like that's your focus. Right? And it's not about
I walk around looking for people. I'm not going to booths.
Yeah, exactly. And that's your strength, Spoo. And that's why I think Marbles is like a dominant form of content for you, because it's your way of just being like, hey, come on, and we're gonna chat and talk about Dingles. We're gonna slay Dingles, and it's gonna be a blast. And that's why you dominate, man. That's why you dominate in the Marbles community.
Yep, find your strengths. I didn't realize I was decent at whatever it is I do at that stuff, like, until I just started
doing it, right?
Doing it, yeah, I guess, and like it's just natural. It's just natural. So I don't know what's natural for you guys.
Wow, that's a good question, dude. I think we should close off on that.
Yeah. Think about it. What comes naturally to you guys? Because that makes it easier to lean into. And it's the same thing why I'm thinking about doing more music type content, but I want to mix it with marbles because I love marbles. It's like the whole MSLA thing, Enders, like mixing in racing and what he loves into marbles.
Oh, damn. You're figuring it out, dude. You're getting into the matrix. Keep going.
What comes naturally to you guys? If you're a content creator and you're looking for the content that you need to create to help your stream and help other platforms in general, like, what is something that comes naturally to you? Do you like to dance? Do you like to rant? Do you like to play music? Do you like sports? I'm coming up with this Spooble bracket thing. Like I like brackets. For some reason, my brain's just like, yeah, man, brackets. Those are fun. And I've been thinking about it for a long, long time. So I'm trying to figure out a way to do brackets. I'm trying to figure out a way to get more into the music marbles stuff. Yeah, and then the creative side of it too. Like I like immersing myself in creative ways, and that's why the Spooble stuff is going on. That's why I turn off the HUD and I get into cinematic mode and look at the marbles because I love the visual aspect of it. And that's something that I fought against myself for a while because I'm like, people want to watch the race. People want to watch the race. People want to watch the race. And yeah, people want to watch the race, but like, maybe not always. and I like doing this creative little watching stuff, and I'm always apologizing for it too. It's like, shut up, who cares, Spoo? Just do the thing. Just do the thing. Do what you enjoy doing, and if you're having fun with it, people are gonna respond to it.
Yeah, bro. It's your turn for a rant. Nice.
Right? Yeah, I mean, it's like thinking about everyone's reactions holds you back.
Yep.
Lean into what's natural for you. Lean into what you're good at. And maybe that's not even streaming. Maybe you're just really good at organizing things for people or doing art for people, and you're not someone that is good at being in front of a camera and streaming and engaging with people. Like, everyone has their strengths. Even though everyone might want to be this big booming streamer, big booming streamers need teams behind them, and you could be a part of the team. It's like thinking about theater arts or movies and stuff. Not everyone is the main actor, right? You need people behind the scenes. You need all the crew, all the artists, all the props, all the costumes. You need all that stuff. The actor can't do it alone. So find what you're good at, lean into it. Because we've all got something to offer. True.
Everybody has something to give.
Break the grind and let the marble content shine. And there's always going to be the grind. There's always going to be competition. And I think that's great to have a sport around marbles. But there's so many more people that are just out there looking for a good time on a fun stream.
Yeah.
And everybody experiences different good times. Everyone's view of fun is different. So maybe extremely hype channels aren't fun for you, but it's fun for a lot of other people. Maybe you just want to chill and roll some marbles and look at some cool little cinematic stuff. And that's for, it's like everyone's got their own, or maybe fun for you is the competition. It's just, yeah. Just remember all that stuff. We're all different. Yeah. If you love marbles and if you love the community, just express that out there. Just be awesome. It's like with Marble Team. I'm always just like, be a fun viewer. Just go out there and be a fun viewer. Don't hate. If you find yourself hating somewhere, just leave. It's that simple. Yeah. Go find somewhere you're not feeling that hate.
It's true. Just go somewhere that you just makes you smile.
Yeah, surround yourself with the right people. Discover yourself. Discover the things you're good at and lean into it.
And support your creators in the many different ways that you can.
Yep. Super easy.
From financial to non-financial. There's so many ways.
Yeah.
Just being around, chatting, saying hello once a day, those kinds of things go miles.
Hell yeah. And thank you guys.
And remember, the Marbles community, you guys are amazing. We have very passionate discussions, but you guys are amazing. You guys support, the reason this game is so stable on Twitch, the viewership's stable. If you believe, if you want to look at the data, it's strong, and that's all because of you guys. We don't incentivize the viewership, right? Other than the grind. So that's all on the creators. It's all on you guys building the content and growing. And we all grow together and we share ideas. We're constantly learning and just want to share more with you guys. So thanks for coming out. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being involved at all the different levels. It's an honor.
Yeah. It means a lot that you guys come out and listen and want to engage in all this stuff too. It just shows the passion of the community, and I love it. We might say things that upset you, or you might say things that we disagree with, but we're all adults, and that's life, man. We can still get along and disagree. There's so many diverse people in the community with different ideas and different thoughts about everything in the game, what fun is, what the competition is, how things should be done, how tilted should be done, how speed tilting should be, all that stuff. And we can just talk about it and still be cool with each other, Just don't be assholes. Just don't be assholes.
Get